He was charismatic, handsome, and charming. Ted Bundy, with his boyish good looks and disarming smile, seemed the epitome of normalcy. He exuded an aura of kindness, of someone you could trust. Yet beneath this carefully constructed facade lurked a darkness so profound, so monstrous, that it would forever etch his name in the annals of criminal history. Ted Bundy's story is not just about the brutality of his crimes, but also about the deceptive nature of appearances. He shattered the stereotypical image of a serial killer, proving that monsters don't always lurk in the shadows. Sometimes they hide in plain sight. Born Theodore Robert Cowell in 1946, Bundy's early life was shrouded in secrecy and shame. Raised by his grandparents, he grew up believing his mother was his sister, a fabrication designed to protect the family from the scandal of an illegitimate birth. This early deception, coupled with the absence of his real father, cast a long shadow over Bundy's formative years, planting the seeds of insecurity and a fractured sense of identity. Even as a child, there were glimpses of disturbing behavior. Bundy exhibited a strange fascination with violence, spending hours poring over crime magazines, his young mind captivated by graphic depictions of death and mutilation. Animals became the unfortunate victims of his early experiments with cruelty, a foreshadowing of the monstrous acts he would later inflict upon human victims. As Bundy grew older, his outward demeanor remained deceptively normal. He excelled academically, cultivated a charming persona, and engaged in seemingly ordinary relationships. Yet beneath this carefully constructed facade, a storm was brewing, fueled by a toxic cocktail of insecurity, rage, and a growing obsession with power and control. The seeds of his dark desires, sown in the fertile ground of a troubled childhood, were beginning to take root. The charming young man with the bright future was slowly morphing into something far more sinister, a transformation that would culminate in a reign of terror that would shock the world. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with our latest content. Now, let's delve into the chilling reign of terror that Ted Bundy unleashed upon the world. The year was 1974. The Pacific Northwest was gripped by fear as young women began to disappear with alarming regularity. Their abductor, a charismatic young man often seen with his arm in a sling or feigning injury, would prey on their kindness, luring them into a false sense of security before unleashing his unspeakable brutality. This was Ted Bundy, at the height of his reign of terror. His modus operandi was as calculated as it was chilling. Bundy would often scout his victims in public places, carefully selecting young women who resembled his first love, a beautiful, dark-haired college student who had broken his heart. He would then disarm them with his charm, often posing as an authority figure or someone in need of help, exploiting their empathy to his advantage. Once he had their trust, he would lead them to secluded areas where his true nature would be revealed. Bundy's crimes were marked by a level of savagery that sent shockwaves through even the most seasoned investigators. His victims, often bludgeoned, strangled, and sexually assaulted, bore the full brunt of his sadistic rage. The disappearances and murders continued for years, leaving a trail of grief and terror in their wake. As the body count rose, so too did the urgency to unmask the monster who was preying on their community. Little did they know, the man they were hunting was hiding in plain sight, concealed behind a mask of normalcy that would prove all too easy to maintain. The case files, filled with gruesome details and photographs of the crime scenes, painted a chilling portrait of Bundy's depravity. One could almost smell the stench of death that permeated the pages, a grim testament to the horrors that unfolded at the hands of this seemingly ordinary man. The brutality of the attacks, the meticulous planning, and the complete lack of remorse pointed to a mind consumed by darkness. In one particularly harrowing account, a survivor described waking up in the back of Bundy's Volkswagen Beetle, her head covered in a sack, her wrists bound. She recounted the terror that gripped her as she realized the true nature of her predicament, the feeling of utter helplessness as Bundy drove her towards an unknown fate. Her escape, a desperate scramble for freedom in the dead of night, seemed like a scene ripped from a horror film, yet it was all too real. These first-hand accounts, raw and deeply disturbing, serve as a stark reminder of the human cost of Bundy's crimes. They force us to confront the reality of his evil, not as an abstract concept, but as a tangible force that shattered lives and left an enduring legacy of pain. Each victim had a name, a story, dreams that were brutally extinguished. It is in these moments, when we delve into the chilling details of his crimes, that we are reminded of the shocking nature of Bundy's reality. This is not fiction, but a grim chapter of human history, a stark reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of even the most seemingly normal individuals.